Hello all, I am Gurtej Atwal, host of the weekly podcast Meet the Professional. And I have my co-host today, Gagandeep Singh. Today we will get information about mechanical engineering. What kinds of opportunities, options, and routes are there in mechanical engineering? How can a college-going student can prepare themselves towards their dream profession? Now I welcome and request our guest Jasjit Singh to please share about his educational and professional journey in mechanical engineering field with us.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thanks, Gurtej, for providing me this platform to share my professional experience as well as my life learnings with your viewers. So, as you told, my name is Jasjit Singh. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College in 2004. After that, I completed my master's in business administration from Guru Nanak Dev University. I came to Canada in 2016, and right now I'm working as a power engineer in Abbotsford here in British Columbia.
Thank you very much, Jasjit. Now I'll take it back to Gagan to please lead us into the show.
Sure, Gurtej. Thank you very much. So, as we already learned, just you seems like you have a lot of experience in mechanical engineering, which probably our audience would find a lot of benefit from. So, yeah, I would say let's get started with the slide we have. I really like all the subjects you covered in your slides. Let's start with the scope of the mechanical engineering so that people can able to relate it with what mechanical engineering is all about.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Sure, Gagan. So, scope of mechanical engineering, it's a very vast field, like it's a broad sector. Across industry, you can find like mechanical engineering working all, like you can name any industry, you will find mechanical engineering, whether it's aerospace, it's biotechnology, food industry, construction, energy, nuclear power, anything. Like you will find mechanical engineer there. So you can say like there's any field in which mechanical engineer is not there. So we have a vast scope. What mechanical engineer does, so he develop, build, and like set up the machine or device or tools. And this is the main functions for a mechanical engineer in any industry. Yep.
That's nice to know for folks like me who probably would maybe associating mechanical engineering with auto engineering only. So this is a very good introduction. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Jasjit. So one thing is, yeah, there is some educational experience needed, educational qualification needed. So can you just focus on some of the skills that a mechanical engineering candidate, a student who is in school or college should have?
So to get a job, like every person should have like two types of skills. One is called soft skills. Soft skill is like similar all across all the industries, but one is hard skills or specifically for that job. So first let's talk about the soft skills. Like this is the fundamental of any job. Like if a college going student wants a job after he's doing his graduation, so the soft skills is the key. Like if he has a good communication, if he's good in teamwork, or yeah, he's good in time management. Like these type of skills are they, if these type of skills are there on the resume, the recruiter like finds it very attractive. Like he wants to see like these type of skills in any person. It's not for a college going graduate, like it's for a professional who has like 20 or like you can say 10-year, 20-year experience. Like these skills are really good, like the soft skills. If a person has all these skills, then he can get the jobs, and like for a particular field, like for a mechanical engineer, like he should have some engineering skills. Mainly the engineering skills is related to science and math. Science, with mainly two branches like physics and chemistry, and after that like he should have like lots of mathematical skills. He should have like complex problem solving skills, operational analysis, because he's there in the operations, he's there in maintenance. So these days, like lots of programming skills, because lots of things are changed into automation. So he should have like all the programming skills. Fault detection, that's the key for any mechanical engineer. Like he's there to find, like if he's in production or in maintenance, he's there to find the fault. Like what's the reason behind the fault? Everybody knows like this is a breakdown. What's the breakdown? What's causing that breakdown? I can give you an example. Let's say a machine, a bolt break, it's breaking time and again. What's the cause? Is it the right material for that bolt, or is it like two different parts are not synchronizing, or the speed is more, like what's the main, or the alignment, like what's the problem? So he is the one who is the right, finding the fault, like he is the one who is doing all the analysis, who is doing the, like, what's the fault, exact reason or root for that fault. So these are the skills if he has, like let's say a person has a 2 or 3 year experience working as a mechanical engineer and he is applying for a higher position. So if he has a bunch of skills like that on his resume, the recruiter really finds this very helpful, and so he can get his desired job, or like what is the job he wants. Let's say I came here in Canada in 2016, and like as an immigrant, I have only the Indian experience. I don't have this Canadian experience. How can a recruiter is going to get me a job? So first of all, he sees your resume. He doesn't know about you. He sees your resume. If these skills are there, which are very much in accordance with that job responsibilities, so he will going to pick your resume out of that. So a person should have these type of skills on his resume.
No, thank you, Jasjeet. So one thing you mentioned that computer skills or programming skills. So if somebody is listening mechanical, so it is a conception that mechanical is mostly related to big engines, big turbines, and all those things. So now, how can you explain this? How the trend is changing so that somebody also needs, or it is helpful for them to have some information about the programming or information about the computer skills?
As I told you, like now it's the era of automation. Everyone wants to do you can talk about the small industry or big MNCs. Mostly the operations are going to be automated. So for getting the things automated, the machine language is the key. So to learn the machine language, you know the mechanics, but if you don't know the machine language, how can you automate the things, or how you can learn how the machine works? So the programming is the key. Like this is these days, like you can't say that I am a mechanical engineer. Why should I know this thing? No, it's not like that. If you want to get a good job, you want to be in this job market, you have to have a multi-dimensional skills. So this is the key to get better job, good job in good companies. Like you should have, like you long days ago, like person says like, oh, I'm a mechanical engineer. This is electrical part. I'm not going to like I'm not going to indulge myself in this type of problem. It's not my job. But right now, companies want you to work in different field. Like you are the person on the floor, so you are there to solve the problem. Like you can't say, oh, this is the program. Call a programmer. I don't know about this thing. No,
I
you are
think
the one. Like
if I
yeah.
have to relate with the way engineering degrees or a BTech is structured, I would add that the first year wherein we study all the subjects or all the aspects of engineering, we get to understand computer science, we get to understand electrical. What I'm understanding from your point is that that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, and we should make very good use of that first year where we have an opportunity to learn all the aspects of engineering, and that definitely is going to help with our mechanical engineering as well.
Very true, Gagan. Yeah, that's right. Like when we are in our first year, like like you are in computer engineering, and we do our workshop training together. Like it's a mechanical workshop. You are also in foundry, or you are also on the machine shop. You are also in the carpentry shop. So everyone is doing. So the idea behind is that you get the basics of every branch. Like let's say we are studying what AC DC motors. Why we should have to study about microprocessor. The idea was to give an basic knowledge about all those different fields, like how these things work. So that's very helpful in these days of industry, like when you are really on the floor, when you are really when you are feeling that heat. So like if you know the basics, then you can find the problem, or you can solve the problem. You can be a game changer.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jasji. So that means one has to have the knowledge of all the tools and skills that they have, but yeah, they can do specialization in the fields which interest them. So
Yeah.
computer, the trend is changing. So yeah, they have to, yes, Jasji.
Like if somebody wants to go into design, like he needs to learn different softwares like CAD, CAM, like SolidWorks, these type of software. So he should have some. Right now, like lots of things are doing. Like people are doing. You can say what we can is called programming. Programming, not only the programming, but we call it. I couldn't get the exact word, but it's called like we are building a prototype. The prototype is not the exact model. Like we are doing modeling of something. So modeling is done on computers. If you know the programming, if you know the command, then you can do that those things. So yeah. So it's the thing like one person can do specialization in a particular field that is related to like two or three different branches of engineering.
No, thank you very much, Jasjit. So, can you explain the concept or the roles that we have in mechanical engineering?
Yeah, as I already told you guys, like a role of mechanical engineer in any industry is like in different departments. We can find mechanical engineer in R&D, especially in automobile industry, or we can find a mechanical engineer in design. In design, like you can find a mechanical engineer in across the field, across the industry, like in construction industry, in homes, like who is designing your HVAC system. It's a mechanical engineer who is designing the HVAC system in major like the basics are the production and maintenance. So production and maintenance in any manufacturing unit goes hand by hand. It's not that it's a manufacturing unit and the production is the main, no. So these two fields goes hand in hand. So if the maintenance department is not doing its job properly, then the production is not going to get that required goals efficiently. So they are lacking behind. So these two departments are really you can say go hand in hand so that the company can get that desired results. So so roles of mechanical engineer is not like it's only in production. Like when I was a kid, we only think that so mechanical engineer is the one who is making things. No, it's not like that. So mechanical engineer is the one who is doing all these things: the research, development, design, everything.
Which really expands the whole scope of this particular specialization. So for somebody who is new, who's wanted to do mechanical engineering, that probably is very exciting to know that they do have a lot of avenues which can be explored as they grow in their career. So yep, good to
Yep.
know.
Yep.
So, Jasjit, can you share what kinds of job opportunities are available in Canada? You are in British Columbia working in this field since long, so you may be aware. So, what is the future of somebody if he wants to opt for this field?
Okay, so right, if somebody wants to get the Canada is a country is a different type of a country. Like it's a vast country, but the population is not in all over the Canada. Like it's somewhere in the east or somewhere in the west. So the middle is like there's like it's clusters. So every province has its own type of industry. Right now, I'm living in British Columbia. We have mainly more industry like food industry is very much here. If you are going to east, like you can find industry of every type. Like there's lots of automobile industries there, food industries there. So in Canada, if mechanical engineer has lots of scope, especially when you compare about in the whole globe. Only US and Australia is paying more than Canada. Like a mechanical engineer is earning here really good. So the scope is vast, and you can get jobs like in Canada, you can get jobs in across all the industry. But if you are in particular field and if you don't want to move to like other provinces, like if, let's say you want to get job in oil and gas, you have to go to northern parts like to Alberta or somewhere. But if you want a job in food industry, you can find job here in local in British Columbia, like in Abbotsford or in Surrey or in Vancouver. You can find lots of jobs here. So the scope in Canada, like there are different types of mechanical engineer. Like you can say, like Canadian market is mainly focused. It's the job market is highly licensed market, certification driven market. It's not job market is something that you should have a certificate. Otherwise, you are not going to get that required job. Let's say you came from India and you are a very good profession, but you want a job here, like there you are working at a power plant. Here you want a job. You can't get a job in power plant here. Why? Because the power plants are somewhere like that needs a certificate. Whether it's a small certificate like fifth class engineer certificate or the first class engineer certificate, you can't get a job without a certificate. So to get a job in Canadian market, you should have a certificate. Let's say you did ITI in India and you came here and you want to start as a mechanic here. You can't get a job here. In like you can get a job if you are really good in your if you are really good luck, but for mostly people you should have a license here. So to get a license, one should either study or challenge. These are the two different fields, two different paths how we can get a job license here. And then, if you have any license, then the scope is vast. As we are talking about the power engineers, the scope in Canada right now is 30,000 power engineers working in Canada. They are almost like as important as a doctor, lawyers, or school teachers in Canadian industry, in Canadian economy, because they run like lots of stuff. Like they run in hospitals, refineries, in manufacturing units everywhere. Where there is a boiler of 15 psi or more. 15 psi means like pressure per square inches. If it's more than that, then you should have a power engineer there, certified power engineer, not a power engineer, but a certified power engineer there. So this field is really interesting for a mechanical engineer. Like for a new guy, if you want to do a mechanical engineering here, lots of fees is there. So you have to spend lots of money here. But if you want to go for a job like in which you are spending less on your studies, but still you are getting really good job, so power engineering is the field. Like you get, so how you get a job here is like you came from, like I'm talking about myself. I came from India like as a mechanical engineer, and if I want a job here, I just challenge that exam and I get the job. The whole cost is $500 only for me, and I get the certification and I got my first job here.
So thank you, Jasjeet. So certification, that is very important. So now the trend is changing. Yeah, you have to have the education, but as new things are being added, so in every field there are certain certifications. So
Yeah.
Gagan, being a computer professional, you would value the certifications too. So how the things are changing, and please share your perspective on this. Why somebody should opt for small certifications, and then lead us into the conversation.
I think the first thing I want to highlight, just to make sure that the audience who are listening to it, who are starting their career, who are into mechanical engineer, whatsoever field you are in, whatsoever certification you are going to do in future to get a job, it is all going to be based on the study you're doing in engineering. So that's still the key. That's still crucial. If you're doing a really great job in absorbing what you're doing in your engineering, all these certifications are going to be a piece of cake, I would say. And that's what has been my experience in engineering. So there is definitely a lot of certifications in computer science engineering as well, which basically makes sense because everybody wants to make sure that, okay, does that guy has the understanding of new technology or new languages there. But at the same time, whatever we learn, it's always a little bit addition to that particular thing which we have learned. So whatever we learn in engineering, that's the base, that's the platform. If we have done a good job over there, certification is still required, but it's gonna be easy.
No, thank you very much, Gagan. So, Jasjit, can you share some more about the power engineer because you are working as a power engineer in British Columbia. So, because it is related to, as listening from it, it is something related to the plants. So, as Amazon and all these things, they have changed the trend. So, supply chain has to be there somewhere. They have to have storage. So, just briefly share with us where this power engineering is used and what is its roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, so power engineering is, as I told you, like it's a certified field. Like it's not like that you did your college and you're a power engineer. No, after that, like every province has its own body through which you need to get license. Like here in British Columbia, it's called Technical Safety BC. In Alberta, it's called ABSA. And in Ontario, it's called TSSA. So every field, every province has its own body to regulate that boilers or stuff like that. The being a power engineer, like as you can read here, like they are also called stationary engineers. So what they do, they just run the power plants. The power plant means like the boilers, like where the steam is produced for the processes for different type of uses. The steam is produced and they run those plants. So those boilers are called, like, mainly those boilers are called power plants, but like there are different other things like HVAC system is also under their purview, and like compressed gas is also under their purview. So basically they are the part of a maintenance team. Like they take care of utilities. Like utilities include boilers, compressed airs, and HVAC system. So they are basically on these three things they focus on. Like in hospitals runs like on boilers, and they need lots of and you can say like HVAC. They need a particular type of you can say the temperature. So they need for intensive care. They don't need that much cold, but they need like a temperature that's there. So for storage of medicine, especially in COVID cases, like they need like a different type of temperature. So where the mass storage is there. So as the power engineer's work is to maintain that temperature. So we all, like in Canada, it's very famous. Ice hockey is very famous. When you go to rinks, like you see there's a ice, how that ice is maintained. So it's a job of a power engineer. They must have employed a fifth class power engineer. So the one who is running that plant, who is maintaining that proper temperature, so that it's not that the ice is there, so that we can enjoy the game. So that's the different type of work that a power engineer does. Like it's mainly it's a maintenance job. It comes under the maintenance department. But it's also as well as you can say it's a production type too. Like in oil and gas, like all operators are power engineers. Where there is a refinery, like mostly the operators are power engineers. So yeah, you can say like it's basically maintenance, but as well as like you can find some power engineer working in production too.
No, thank you, Jaspreet. So, yeah, power engineering, it is in every field and this is a specialization. When one gets a degree in mechanical engineer, this is a specialization that they can go in and in this domain can find ample job opportunities. Now I'll get
Uh,
it back to Gagan to, yeah, please, sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jaspreet.
especially in Canada, like if you are a certified power engineer and you want a job, you will get a quick job. That starts from $25 to $35. That's the starting job. That's a good. Like I can give you an example. Like when I start doing my job here, there was a guy like he's 21-year-old. He's a certified power engineer. He's born Canadian, and he's a certified engineer. He's earning like $35 at 21 years of age. You're earning $35. You have no education debt, no education loan on you, and you're like he's living a dream job, dream life. So yeah, it's really good. Like it's a really good field for a mechanical engineer to go into if you don't want to spend so much money.
And I think this may be taken as an ad hoc step just in case somebody's new in here, and this is very useful information for him or her so that they can just get started with this quick certification and start their career. And even if they have plans to get into another field, they can probably get started from here. So very, very good information, I will say.
Yes, there are like in power engineering, we can say like there are different stages. If you go one slide back the page, we can discuss about that. One slide back. There's okay, so like power engineering is something like that. There are different classes. Like it's called fifth class, fourth class, third class, yep, second class, and first class. So basically, basic starts from fifth class engineer. But as a mechanical engineer, when you immigrant here, like you can challenge up to like fourth class. Certain provinces allow you to challenge like fourth class exam and get you a job with right way. But as with the experience, like it's not like that you will get like you get a fourth class certification and you want to get a third class. You should have worked at a fourth class plant or third class plant for a particular time. So that like it's two different things. Education plus steam time, that goes hand in hand. Steam time means like you are working with that particular boiler of that class, so that you are working, you have that particular hours firing. We call it firing time. That you have that firing time, then you can advance. You write the exams for the next class. You are a third class engineer now. Then you want to go for a second class plant. Then you should have like worked at a third class plant for a certain time. Then you can go for your second class plant, second class certification. It's like that. First class we called it chief engineer. It's not like that for the audience. I will explain like it's not like only a first class is a chief engineer. A fifth class can be a chief engineer. If he is working in a fifth class plant, that requires only fifth class. engineer. So he can be a chief engineer for that plant, but he can't be a chief engineer for fourth class plant or third class plant. Like you can't be a chief engineer for a plant that is higher than your education, that is higher than your certification. You can work in a plant that is higher than your certification, but you can't work as a chief engineer in a plant that is higher than your competency. So all the engineers are in some case like if you are working, if you are talking about like this particular area of Canada, like in BC, especially in this eastern part, or you can say this lower mainland, we don't see so much like first class boilers or second class boilers here. We do have third class boilers in mostly in hospitals or in some industry, but there are lots of like fourth class boilers. In food industry, you can find like fourth class boilers, and fifth class boilers are all there. Like where they use steam, fifth class boiler is there. You name like anything. You name uh, like greenhouses where they produce vegetables. They have like third class or fourth class or fifth class boiler. So you find a power engineer working in a greenhouse there. You name any like food industry, they have like fifth or fourth class. And in some industries, boiler is the critical part because like their process is based on the steam. If the steam is not there, the whole industry is shut. So that's why they need a certified engineer, and the boiler only can be run if there is a certified engineer on the site. So that's why there's lots of opportunity. In one of my slides, I already show you like there are 30,000 power engineers working, but still there are like scope of more 11,000 jobs are still there. So it's a vast field. You get a quick job, and like for any person like who is working, who is studying, like a kid who is studying in class 11th grade or 12th grade, and if he wants to get a job right away, he should go for a fifth class. And it's not like that it's a costly affair. For a fourth class, if one wants to go for a fourth class power engineer, then 6,000 is only the fee, and that you can easily like get a study loan or something, and you can pay off in like within first year of your job, so you can pay off that job.
The specialization of the subject, I can also corroborate with my experience having worked with some of the insurance clients. Boiler engineering or boiler insurance is a totally separate and very specific subject in insurance. Typically they are very broad, but in terms of boiler, I know that they have a specific product on boilers, considering the whole technology and whole complexity involved into it. So I can totally relate with what you're saying, Justice. Thanks. That was insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. Just if we kind of see, so what is the educational qualification, or what kinds of, as you mentioned, there are certain certifications, so one can do in certain amount of time and can become eligible. So please share some more about it. So what kinds of degrees and certifications are needed to become a power engineer?
So to become a power engineer, like there are two different paths through which you can get a power engineer. One is through job. Through job means like you are working in a power plant as a laborer or something entry level job. You are not certified, but you are working under some power engineer for certain time of period, and you enroll yourself for a distance education course through colleges like in British Columbia it's called VCIT, somewhere it's called NET, or some like you go for any college through distance education. You do your study, you get your fire time from that plant where you are working for a particular time, and then you write that exam for your province, like for certification exam, and you get your certification. The other part is like you go to a college. The college must have a power plant with in its like they should have a power plant. Then you attend the college, and for 1 or 2 years you get fifth class or fourth class certification, and then you get your fire time along with that. Like that's the practicum that you do there, and then you write your exam. So as I told you, like it's not that with a distance education or online study, the fees is for one semester is not more than $500. So for 2 years, you're paying only 4,000. If any person like who came to Canada and he wants to go into power engineer, and he doesn't want to spend so much time, and he doesn't have like he can't go for a full-time study. There's one path like he can go for an online study. He complete his study. But he didn't have the time. What will he do? He will go to that college, and they charge like 3,000 or something like that, and you will get the fire time. Like it's once in a year. they run that program. They give you the practical experience, and then you have the fire time. You have the study. Then you can go for your provincial exam. Or by writing your provincial exam, you get the certificate and you get the job. So these are two different paths. One can go for through job, and other can go through the college. It's up to the person, like how he wants to come into this field. Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Jasjeet. So we always hear this terminology, professional engineering, and some kinds of certifications. So just share what kinds of certifications are there so one can get to enhance their career. And the other thing is what kind of growth opportunities are there in this engineering field.
Okay, so for a mechanical engineer, if somebody did his or her mechanical engineering here in Canada or somewhere in the part of the world, and he or she came here to Canada and he wants to get a job here, there are different certifications. One is P engine. Everybody is that is professional engineering. So it's like that. You did your 4 years of bachelor's. After that, you work under a P engine for 4 years, and then you write your provincial exams, like 2 or 3 exams are there, then you get this certification. Other is technologist, like it's mainly like if we want to compare it with India, it's like diploma holders type of job, like you get certification like that. Then there comes a trade certification. Trade certification, it's like if you compare it with India, it's like ITI, but here it's more practical. How you get the trade certificate? Like you work in any industry for one. It's a like fourth year program. You work in the industry for 1 year. You go to college for 1 or 2 months. Then you again work in the same industry for other year. Then again every year you go for two months to the college, and then you work in the industry for the whole year. It's like that, like you get the experience from your job, but still you're getting new concepts or other things from like the qualifications from your college. So this thing like trade in Canada, if a person is a certified tradesman, he is earning a really good, but because he is the person who is the one who is running the show. It's not that the other people, like it's the who is actually on the floor. So tradesman here in Canada is earning really good. So I always encourage my like colleagues like who is in production, who came from as an immigrant who doesn't know what to do. They get a job, they start doing job, but the production job is not paying them that much. I always like encourage them to go to a college and do the foundation course. Like this, if you do your foundation course, then you write it on your resume. It's a highly demandable job market, and if you do your foundation course only, then that industry or that particular industry can or company can hire you. If that company hires you, then the whole fees, whole your study expenses on that, mostly companies pay for your expense. So you are not paying, you're earning as well as you're studying. So this is a really good track, a really good path to go into this trade field. Like you're not paying, you're not because when you come here as an immigrant, like you don't have that much time to study. Like 4 years, you're going to college or school, and then you're going for job. Like you're here, you're you're working as well as you're studying. So both things go hand in hand, and you get your trade certificate. And in Canada, like if you have any trade certificate, whether it's electrician, it's the mechanic, it's a carpenter, anything, like you get really good money, and your life is set. Like if you have any trade certificate, the other is power engineer. If you really want to go into maintenance and you have a you don't want to spend like that much money, you can go for power engineering. We already discussed about the different parts of power engineer, like how one can be a power engineer. It's not that expensive. The trades and power engineer, like it's not that expensive trades, but still you get like highly demandable jobs. Like they are in highly demand.
No, thank you, Jasjeet. So this I can definitely correlate, and Gagan, you can correlate it as well. So because now COVID has happened and lots of things have been changed with respect to the job opportunities. So and there will be a disruption. So as Jasjeet had mentioned, small certifications, so those can be key for somebody who wants to transition from one job opportunity to another. So in their 30s or 40s, if they think of what they are doing that is phasing out, they want to learn something new, these certifications are a key. So Gagan, what do you think? So in computer field, like I'm in a Silicon Valley, so everybody has in the back of the mind. So if they are in the middle of the career, they want to do a transition into the computer field. So is it possible in that field also? So are there some certifications, some languages, if somebody learns, they can enter that field?
I guess I think before I really answer the question, one thing I just want to quote for the audience is that it really depends upon the interest. So if you have interest, I think any field is possible at any age, at any point of time of your life, starting from the interest. So yes, coming on to computer science, there are multiple avenues what one can take, like Jaspreet highlighted. Trade and power engineering looks like pretty good starting point. Similarly, in software engineering, one can easily start probably with software testing, which wherein you just work as an end user of an application, you understand the business side of it, and you add a value from that side. If you are coming from an industry, let's say you are from uh, let's say you're from insurance industry, you can go into the IT department of that insurance industry. So those kind of things are very easy. You can start from those angles, and then of course, as you get in there, you can do some more certifications. It's really doable, and people are doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. Like, if you have a certificate, like here in Canada, is totally is like in this part of the world is totally different scenario. Like people start studying at the age of 40. They want to change their career. Like they are doing something, they want to change their career. They start studying. They start going to school, and they started a job at the age of 45 years. They start really go different job. What they are doing the throughout your life, they started. So here, like in this part of the world, like you want to do, you want to improve yourself, you want to like do something different, opportunities are there. It's only your interest. Like sometimes you are in the field in which you don't like it, you are doing something and you feel like it's a monotonous thing and I don't want to do it and I want to change it. There are small certifications if you go for them, and then you can change your job field. Like you can go in any field like in which you want. So yeah, these certifications are really the key. So one more thing, like if somebody, like let's say I'm working here as a power engineer for, and my plant is like fourth class plant or fifth class plant, and I want to like to go into the into the management. How I can go into the management? Like that's a different field. So how can there are certain certifications like you can go through VCIT. VCIT is the institute here. You can go through there, or there's other institutes in other provinces through which you can go for those. If you go to the last slide, we have all those certifications that person can do in the maintenance, and he can go for a management on the management side of in that particular company. Like he doesn't need to change his job or something. He can go for the yeah, these are the growth opportunities. PMAC is it's a non-profitable organization. It deals with asset management. Like there's a very good course. Like my last plant manager, he really recommends this. It's a maintenance management professional through which you can go into the management side. You can be a manager where you're working right now. You can be a supervisor or something. If you do let's say there's an opportunity, and if you have like these type of certifications with you, CTAM, it's a certified technical specialist in asset management, and CPAM is one step higher. So you can you can start from maintenance management professional, then you can go for CTAM, CPAM. All are the online courses. You need not to go to college or university. You can study as well as like when you are working, you have to study like for 1 or 2 hours each day, and in 6 months you will get the certification, and your resume looks really good when you're applying for a job, like for any growth. You want to go for the management side, then you have the experience, you have the technical experience, you want to go for the management side, then these type of courses are really helpful. I highly recommend these type of courses.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Jaspreet. We learned a lot today about what mechanical engineering is, how a school going or college going student can prepare themselves, what kinds of opportunities are there around you, Like in Seattle, Boeing is there. So in Michigan, Ford is there. So lots of companies, they are specifically looking for the candidate with specific education. So
Yes.
Gagan, what do you think?
No, definitely it was very useful, it was very practical, and it was very insightful. There was very specific information which people can use, and they can explore, and they can actually pursue their future based on this. It was very nice to hear that from you, just
Yeah. Mm. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Gutesh, again, like giving me this platform so that I can like share this. Because like these, what I find here in Canada, what I found here, like people don't have that much guidance. If you have proper guidance, like you sometimes a person has is a doctor and he ends up like when he immigrates here he ends up doing something really different. That's not his you can say his job or
totally
his
different
field.
field.
Yeah, they're doing it different because he doesn't have that much that guidance. And especially
I
in our in our community, we are not guiding them. We have only two, three. I'm not like insulting any profession, but we have only two, three professions in which we recommend. Like if a relative comes or a friend comes, like what should I do? We only like say them, oh, do this because we are doing this. So you
I
also
think that
try.
is where the this initiative, Gurtej, which you have taken, is really important and crucial for the overall development of the people who are coming from our land, so that they are able to see that there are so many different opportunities which are available, and they're not really tough. It's as Jasjeet explained it so nicely. They're not really tough. You all you have to do is know it, getting all the right resources with you, and it is doable.
Yeah, our committee should start working about this too, so that we can guide like youngsters. This is really good initiative. Like the youngsters get so much knowledge. Like I saw your podcast, then we came across like different field. And if one of my relative or my friends, friend or his son or his relative comes here and he wants to get some job, like what should I do? Then we can. Otherwise, like what should I recommend him? Because we don't find mostly like any communities or any organizations here that can guide, especially but luckily we have like one, but it's not that much publicized. We have a speed VC here, that's a Punjabi technocrats you get organization here, that's very old organization that helps people to that guides people to make networking, to get good job. But the people doesn't know, like it's not much talkable in our community, like people don't know about that. So these initiatives are highly
I
like
think now the way the whole technology and everybody's getting online, the this platform, Gurtej, you have the podcast, you have the YouTube. I think we can really share this channel with more and more people who are coming here, maybe who are not already here. So this is good initiative.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Gagan, and thank you, Jasjeet, for your time, valuable information. So, yeah, information though, Gagan and Jasjeet, information is out there. But the thing is, once somebody listen from somebody, they can correlate. They can see, oh, this looks like my elder brother.
Yeah.
This looks like my friend. If
Hmm.
they have done this, I can do it. So
yeah.
that's the whole goal.
Totally.
But yeah, so and we are around them, we can answer their questions very amicably. They can ask any kind of question without any hesitation. So with that, I'll thank Jasjeet again, and thank you our listeners for watching us. And please send us the questions that you need to get answers, and feedback, as well as the suggestions for the topics that you want to listen. So see you all in the next episode. Stay healthy, stay blessed, and stay informed. Thank you very much.